Hey everyone, this is Kelly from Australia Wide Retreats, and today we're going to be talking with Hayley about her upcoming retreat on the 22nd to the 23rd of March at Condalilla. So Hayley, thank you so much for coming through to have a yak with us.
Oh, thanks, Kelly. I appreciate it.
Lovely. So land healing, earth healing, what is that all about? How did you get started with this kind of work that you're doing?
Okay, yeah. So how I got started with this is I used to be a naturopath. I spent 20 years in clinic and holding health seminars and teaching naturopathic students at college. And what happened for me was I had a number of clients who mentioned that they'd had a land healing or an earth healing done at their property. And so I also noticed that this tended to correlate with their results. They were getting well really quickly. And I thought, gee, there must be something in this. I'd never heard of what it was or anything before. So I thought I'll go and look. And so I found a lady by the name of Maggie Landman. And she was not only doing earth healings at the time, but she was teaching it as well. So I thought I'll have an earth healing done at my property. And I noticed after that a lot of things kind of got into flow better. Just different things, with the family and the house and the area. A lot of things improved. And so I thought, okay, I might enroll in a workshop and, a retreat and go and learn how to do this earth healing for myself. And what I learned was pretty amazing because for me as a naturopath at the time, to discover how much impact that the earth that we're living over has on us and our energy and our physical health and, our mental health and things, it was astonishing. And I came to realize that, you can go to a naturopath and you can be eating all the best foods and you can be avoiding all the toxic chemicals and minimizing your EMF and doing all these other great things. But if you go home and you're sleeping on a bed that's over crossing negative ley lines or an underground water stream or, old earth shift or earthquake energy lines, it's a stress to the body and it's pulling your energy down and it literally can make people sick. So it kind of got me thinking, gee, there's not many people out there teaching this information and sharing this and healing people's land. But there's lots and lots of naturopaths and other great practitioners. So I felt like it was time for me to jump over and help in this way because there's plenty of people already can help in that way. So yeah, so for me, it was life-changing.
That's fascinating. So
Mm.
no matter what you do, how strong you might be in your morning routines, evening routines, eating habits, physical exercise, mindset, etc., if you're living on top of a piece of land that has heaviness attached to it, that's still going to affect you in some way or another. That's fascinating. Yeah.
Mm.
So
Absolutely.
why do you do what you do?
Sure. So there's a number of things, all of these things that we find happening underground, part of the Earth's natural system. There's positive and negative ley lines. The positive ones have beautiful high vibrational energy. The negative ley lines have low vibrational energy. They're kind of like the meridians in a human body. So we can actually work with the positive ones and boost them up even more. And we can actually change and heal the frequency of the negative ley lines because the Earth is going through a shift right now, as you're probably well aware. It's changing that frequency and it's moving to a higher vibration. So it's time to help. And, we've done a lot of damage to Mother Earth, but here's a way that we can actually help to change some of this as well. And by learning how to find these areas and put crystals in the ground and heal these areas, then the whole Earth can shift its energy up. And consequently, us who are living over it, it reduces that stress impact on us, and then we can start to raise our energy as well. So, of course, it's sensible to eat well and avoid chemicals and do all of those, good things. That's just common sense. But like I say, that doesn't take away the impact of the earth that we're living over. So, it's perfect time to say, let's rebalance some of these energies so that you can live on your property as you are meant to be in your energy, not your energy impacted by these other negative things.
Okay. And is what the Earth takes on, is this over, well, like any energy field, can this be impacted by decades, centuries gone by as well?
For sure. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
When we look at the history, the old cathedrals, the big churches and things across Europe, you know, ancient structures, they are built on crossing positive ley lines. And
Okay.
the pyramids in Giza, they are built on about 5 different crossing positive ley lines, major ones. So this is information that's been around for a long time. It's nothing new. It's just been forgotten or buried or hidden or whatever the story is. Places like Mount Shasta, Glastonbury, Tor, all of those places that people talk about as really high energy spots on the earth, they're all major intersecting positive ley line areas. And so it shows us that there's a reason they built them where they did, and you can harness that energy and tap into it. But quite the opposite, if you're building over crossing negative ley lines and such, you're also going to tap into that energy too. Yeah, so countries like China and Poland, and I think maybe even Finland, they actually make sure they check out all of this, ley lines, underground water and everything before they build, because they know the impacts that it's going to have. Here, we kind of ignore it and pretend it doesn't exist, and
Whack
put
a
it in the
house up.
category of and put it in the category of spiritual woo-woo, you know, nonsense. Actually, you know, there's so much evidence and you know, history of utilization and healing of these energies previously. So, yeah, for sure,
That's
some of these
amazing.
energies have been around forever.
Yeah. So tell us more about your upcoming retreat at Condalilla, 22nd, 23rd of March.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So for me, how this evolved is once I learned how to do the earth healing technique. So there's level 1, which he teaches you how to walk your own property and heal the land and make sure you're living in a high vibrational space. And then you can help out your family or your friends, you know, with their properties too. Level 2, which Maggie still teaches herself, and she does that over Zoom now, that is the level where people can learn to do this, you know, like a practitioner, to go out and heal land for other people. And so Maggie had trained me to teach earth healing level 1. Exactly the way she taught it to me is how I teach it, because it works. It's a really powerful process. And so I spend 2 days with people over this retreat, stepping them through connecting with the earth properly, connecting with crystals and learning how to use them from an earth perspective, not necessarily, you know, in the way we do like other energy healing and things like that, but how they actually work connected to the ley lines and things like that. And so we walk the land and we, you know, stand and we feel this is what a negative ley line feels like. Tune into it with your body, learn how to pick it up and intuit and learn how to actually heal this line. So I step people through, if you haven't intuited what it needs, these are the key things first you can rely on that will work. But as your intuition gets stronger and stronger, then you can rely on that even more. And then at the end, we actually finish the retreat by people mapping. So printing out like a Google Earth map or a drawn map and tapping into finding the lines there. So you can work anywhere in the world. Last week I did a property in Florida and 2 properties in France. So
nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so at the actual retreat, you're physically doing it with your body. What about people that can't feel this kind of stuff?
Yeah. So that's always the question. But I've never come across a person who can't. We take the time, once you do the connections to the earth properly and the connections to the crystals properly and step it through, by the time we get out there on the land, I've never come across someone who can't feel it. Absolutely, some people will pick it up just like that and it's just second nature to them, and other people take a bit more time. But we have the time, we spend the time to make sure every single person gets this, picks it up. And also we don't use any tools. We don't use divining rods or pendulums or anything external, because you don't always have those in your back pocket. Do you know what I mean? If I want to walk down to the beach and lie down and read my book for a couple of hours in the sun, I don't want to lie over a negative ley line. I want to utilize the best possible energy. So, you know, you don't have your divining rods in your back bikini pocket or something, you know what I mean? So, so teaching people how to find it with their own energy. So you always can do this. You can rely on it, trust it, and know it at your core rather than relying on something else. So, yeah.
Okay.
So,
yep. Sorry. So with ley lines, are they everywhere? Like,
yes.
would every property have a ley line?
Absolutely. Yeah. So it's a little bit like you've got the main arteries in your body, and then they branch out right down to the tiny little capillaries. So ley lines are kind of the same. You've probably seen maps of the big, what they call dragon lines across the earth. And so there's a lot of people out there working with dragon line energy and healing that. But from there, it breaks down to smaller ley lines and smaller again, like the capillaries in the body. So it's very holographic in that sense. And every single space, so to speak, actually has ley lines on it. And they all feed back up to those big dragon lines. So whether I'm working on a caravan site space or, you know, a 100,000 acre farm, absolutely there'll be ley lines across it.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So, wow, that's handy then. Everywhere we go, we can use this and feel with our body, which direction we should be going in. Yeah, for positive
sure.
energy. That's fascinating.
Yep.
Right. You got me thinking now. I want to hook up with one of your courses. Retreats. Excellent. Nice, Hayley.
Well,
all right.
it's an interesting. I was just going to say, it's an
go.
interesting concept too, because it's about matching properties with people's frequencies. Now, it doesn't mean that I would say, oh, here's Kelly and this is kind of where her energy's at and we'll, bring the properties to that level. It's more about just always working to bring the property up to the highest possible level in the highest good of Kelly who lives there, for example. And so, you do that work with that intention in mind. And so what shows up to be healed is very connected to your energy. As opposed to, if you moved out and somebody else moved to your property the next day, different things would show up relevant to their energy. So, the ley lines are everywhere, but which ones do we need to work on and heal and improve for you to be the most comfortable in your space and not have them negatively impacting you? So
once a ley line has been healed by us, can it fall back into a negative energy?
Not with this method. And that's why we use the crystal. In the past, what a lot of people have done is they've used sound. So the Indigenous use clapsticks. Some people, like, for example, even animals, they use their sound, like cats use their purring and vibration, and they sit over ley lines all the time to try and heal them. There's been studies where they've actually tracked the elephants moving across negative ley lines and using their rumbling and trumpeting, and it changes the frequency of the land that they're walking over. But once they're gone, that tends to settle back into its original level. And so this is why you do this over and over again. It's why the cats constantly sit over the negative ley lines. They're trying to heal them all the time. But with the crystals in place, that's changed that frequency. And so when we work on your property, Kelly, changing that land frequency also helps improve that on your neighbor's properties as well, because it's healing the whole line, not just on your square, so to speak.
Oh, wow. How long does the line run for?
Well, all the way back up to those dragon lines. But of course, the challenge will be if we've healed your property here and the ley lines run through that property, there will be water, there will be negative ley lines, there will be other things that eventually impact that ley line. So it's not positive all the way back, but it is section by section. So the more you can do in an area, the more sections are healed, the higher the whole place becomes.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah. This is huge, Hayley. This is massive. Can I ask you a question? And we were away on a holiday weekend gone by up Sunshine Coast, and it was me, my husband Pete, and Harley, and we were in one part of Currimundi Lake, and I took a photo. And I couldn't see it while we were there. I felt good, it felt great, but when the photo came out, there was this big, and if it's okay, I'll pop it in here so people can see what I'm talking about. It looked like this big wing, and I put it up on my social saying, "What is this?" And a lot of people said dragon. Would that be related to anything that you're talking about, or something completely different?
Yes, it can be. If it's something of a positive nature, which I'm assuming a wing or something that symbolizes a dragon or angel or, something like this, that can be, I've definitely had a lot of people say I've seen these sort of things over positive ley line areas. And I do believe around Curramundi, there's some history of dragon energy and things like that I've heard about. So yeah, look, my focus is always to help people tune into what's going on underground rather than focus on the things above the ground. But of course, they're one and the same. They impact each other. And so, you know, when you see beautiful things like that, you capture them in photos. Yeah, most of the time it is relevant to what's going on underneath.
Nice. All right.
Yeah,
Thank you for that. Yeah.
that's
So,
okay.
how can people make contact with you to book a spot at your upcoming retreat?
Sure, thank you. So I have a website, which is my name. So it's www.hayleywallace.com. And that will take you to all the details if you click on events. And then you're welcome to contact me from there and we can get you all booked in. The other
Excellent.
way is I do have a Facebook page, which is Land Healings, Healings with an S on the end. And that will give you some information, some flyers on there as well. So yeah,
All
nice and
right.
easy.
And during the day, you're taking people through all of these. Is food provided or do they bring their own?
Yeah. So what I do is I provide morning and afternoon tea, lots of good healthy food. Everything I provide is gluten-free. Most of it is dairy-free and quite a bit of it is sugar-free. So it tends to accommodate most people. But I do get people to bring their lunch. So, you know, just, yeah, it makes it easier. I find people get to bring what they enjoy but we gather together for the morning and afternoon tea and share that.
Okay.
So that's all
And
provided. Yeah.
is nice. And is this an overnight retreat?
People don't actually sleep at the venue. There is accommodation at Condalilla Eco Resort. So people can book at Condalilla Eco Resort if they want to stay there overnight as a separate thing, but people take care of that themselves. The actual retreat starts and runs till 4 each day. So when you're booking in with me, that's the time frame you're booking in for.
Okay. What was that beginning time again? You cut there for a second.
So the workshop, the retreat that you're doing with me will run from 9 until
9 to
4
4.
each
Okay.
day. Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. All right. Thank you so much for all of your time and this talk. I found it absolutely fascinating. Thank you,
My
Hayley.
pleasure.
Um,
Yeah, thank
is
you.
there anything else that you want to add before we wrap this up?
Well, a lot of people ask me before I come to a retreat, do I need to read anything or study or learn anything? And the answer is no. There's a confusing minefield of information out there about ley lines and things like that. So that theory and why we're healing and everything is all provided when you're there. So really, it's just come along with your intuition and open mind and have some fun, and that's really all people need to know. So.
Lovely.
Yeah.
And do you provide the crystals as well?
Absolutely. Yep, for
Yeah,
sure. Yeah.
fantastic.
Yep. Workshop
Okay.
manual, crystals, everything they need. Yeah.
Nice. Manual too. Wonderful. All right. So everyone watching, grab your ticket, ask any questions to Hayley, hayleywallace.com, and check it out. It sounds fascinating. I'm going to check it out anyway. Okay. Thank you so much for
Beautiful.
being here with us, Hayley. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. Yep. Thanks. Bye-bye.